come now to Movie Spotlight, our weekly segment reviewing the latest releases at the Korean box office and online. And joining me this week, it is our classic duo. First, we have Jason Bechervaise with us. Jason, hello. It's good to see you.
Yeah, great to be here as always, Django.
And we have Darcy Paquet with us as well. Hello, Darcy.
Hi, good to see you.
So, gentlemen, due to world events, we're running behind, so we are going to have to keep this one short today. Let's get straight into it. We begin this week with the big film Fast X. This is the latest in the Fast and the Furious franchise. It has a more lengthy title in Korean, 분노의 질주, Ride or Die. So, Jason, can you briefly recap for us where we are in this franchise?
Yeah, so the first film was released in 2001. It centers on the character, of course, Dom Toretto, this leader of an unknown group of hijackers. And his friendship, of course, with the undercover Brian O'Connor, played by the late Paul Walker. So we've got Vin Diesel in there as well. And over the years, the films have become, more expensive, more expansive, covering locations, covering throughout the whole world. I think reflecting, of course, the Hollywood studios' endeavor to try and tap into these other markets, not least China, of course. And so we will have other characters. We've got Hobbs, played by Dwayne Johnson, Shaw, Jason Statham, Helen Mirren, Charlize Theron. And the franchise itself has pulled in a whopping $6.6 billion, and clearly it's going to go over that now with over $7 billion with the new film, making it the 8th highest grossing franchise of all time. So X means we're at number 10. Oh my god, it's exhausting. And it is interesting though to see how these films have evolved over the years, and I think this latest one brings a bit of the Avengers Endgame, and there's a bit of Bond in there as well with the villain. So and I think there's going to be more movies to come.
Yes, I'm sure there will be. Darcy, as we have come to expect, this film also features a lot of the cast from previous films, right? What is it actually about?
Okay, so it starts off in the past, 10 years in the past, where we see the original duo kind of stealing this vault out. I won't describe the scene, but it's a very audacious kind of theft of this vault. And 10 years later, the son of the man who was robbed and killed in this theft has been biding his time and is now ready to kind of enact.
That was the
revenge.
original, the fifth in this series, right? Fast 5.
That's right. So the son is played by Jason Momoa. He's this very powerful, very silly.
He's a sociopath.
Very over-the-top kind of villain. Basically it starts in Rome, where he kind of frames the group for a terrorist attack, basically. And so that, in the press, they're being hunted as these terrorists when it wasn't their fault, obviously. And then we go off to Rio and then to London and then various places around the world. But basically there's this this one character who's out for revenge, and he doesn't want to kill them too quickly. He wants to kind of bide his time, make all of them suffer to the utmost, and then to target family members as well as the group themselves.
It's over the top. I think that aptly describes much of the series so far as well. Jason, I understand that you saw this at the press screening in Seoul this week on IMAX.
I did,
no less. How was it? Was it worth seeing on the massive screen as well?
You know what? I was asked after the screening because, it was a press screening, what I thought of the film. And I just said, a bit weak. It's a bit sloppy. Actually, it's very sloppy in places. It is completely over the top, which I think has worked in its favor for so many films. It's like you go in there with your box of popcorn and have a lot of fun. That it's completely ridiculous. You've got these really audacious set pieces, on runways that go on for like 50 miles. But yeah, you've got cars coming out of planes, and it's just, preposterous. But you love it, right? And here it just feels, you got this set piece early on in the film in Rome, and you got this like giant bomb just rolling around. And it's madness. But I don't know, I just didn't find it particularly fun. There are some funny moments. You know, Jason Statham comes in, and you know, he's rather entertaining, and you know, and there's also just a lot going on. It's kind of going from one place to another, so it's literally all over the shop, all over the place, and so it's just really not very focused. And you know, with Endgame, you have that in that, yes, sure, there's a lot going on, but it does feel quite disciplined in a way. Right. But here, it's just not at all. And but you know, actually the reaction hasn't been as bad as I thought it might be. Some people do like the film, and you know, if you want to, you know, just have a lot of fun, then perhaps this is your thing, or maybe it's not. Yeah,
I mean, it is structured as like the first in a two-part group as well, and so it has that kind of.
Oh, so there definitely is going to be more.
Well,
films.
it's a cliffhanger ending. Yeah.
Right, okay.
And so I mean, some people say, you know, these two films are going to wrap up the series. I won't believe it until the films stop making money, but at least we're going to come to some kind of a resolution, I think, at the end of the next film. But because of that, you know, this film does kind of suffer from the, you know, half a film viewing experience where you're not really kind of to the end of the things that they put in motion.
It's like, it's almost, they kind of flip it upside down in a way, because at the beginning of the film you have that you have a sequence where they're all together as a family, and I think that works really well. You know, it's kind of charming, but the thing is, normally you have that at the end of the movie. But in this movie, the end, it ends on a cliffhanger, so there is no resolution. So
Darcy, but very briefly, did you have fun at least?
Not bad. It does feel like something that's gotten a little bit out of control, and you know, you know, the early ones were kind of, I don't know, tough and energetic, and the middle ones, I think, kind of reached the perfect blend of, you know, outrageous but also not too out of control. But now they're in kind of the late phase where.
Things so just jumped the shark, essentially. That's what you're saying a little bit. Okay, so perhaps one for the hardcore fans then. That was Fast X. Let's turn now to our next film, and it's actually last year's Palme d'Or winner, which seems timely given that the Cannes Film Festival began earlier this week. The film we're talking about, of course, is Triangle of Sadness. It has the literal translation, Slupumez Hamgakkyong, for the title in Korean, and it's out now in Korean cinemas. Darcy, can you tell us about this one?
Yeah, it's directed by the Swedish filmmaker Ruben Oslund, who's actually the head of the jury at Cannes this year, so we're seeing him on TV this week. But his previous films were Force Majeure, and then The Square, which also won the top prize at Cannes, and so he's a two-time winner of that award. And he's known for having a really kind of blackly comic, satirical approach, you know, particularly to kind of the upper class and to the art world and to luxury cruises and these type of settings. He's kind of drawn to those. And so this is his English language debut. It follows a couple who are both models. They're kind of social media influencers. They get invited for free onto this luxury cruise, and it starts off luxurious, and then it ends things go awry, you might say.
As they do. Okay, so Jason, this film generated headlines last year, most notably for its reported 50-minute vomit scene. I'm not sure what to make of that, but what did you think of the film?
I mean, I went in with really high expectations, and I liked it. It's very kind of Parasite-esque in the way it's certainly looking at, you know, social disparity. You know, there are these images on the boat where you've just got, you know, the incredible affluence, and then you've got, even within the kind of the staff on the boat, you've got, you know, the white kind of officers, and then on the bottom you have, you know, the laborers, you know, from Southeast Asia, sure enough, it's kind of turned on its head towards the end of the film. And so, it feels in a sense like Parasite. It's entertaining. And then you have this really striking imagery of vomiting and, and toilets. And so that's where, I saw some scenes that certainly did remind me of Parasite. It's good. It's long though, and it does feel a little bit long. It's well over 2 hours, 2 hours, 20 minutes, 2.5 hours. It's entertaining, and there's certainly a lot lot going on in the film in terms of its themes. And so, yeah, I can see why in Cannes it certainly made an impression, and also at the Oscars as well.
So from Jason's tone, his good was it's good, not it's great. What do you think, Darcy?
Yeah, I enjoyed the film too. I think as a culture, we kind of overestimate satire sometimes as humor. I mean, it was interesting the social points that he was making. I mean, some of the humor was a little bit obvious, I think, but despite that, it's well shot. It kind of pulls you in. I liked it better than his previous film, The Square, which I enjoyed watching at the time, but then it just it's one of those films that your opinion of it kind of goes down after you see it, for me. But yeah, I recommend this one. I think it's worth seeing. It has some interesting twists in the middle. So, it was well done.
Well done, but perhaps not as great as.
I mean, it's not.
Like
it's not like the best film of last year. I'd say.
Yeah,
I was surprised that it won the top prize.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Parasite. So, but it's fine. I think it just, we got it like a year later, and so obviously you read the reviews, and then it gets hyped up, and it's like it's good. It's definitely a good film, but I wouldn't rave about it.
Okay, we'll wrap it up there, gentlemen. Thank you for your reviews, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, have a great weekend.
Take care.